Number 19. The Skull Merchant. Yes, the bedazzled crypto bro. She just drops an Alexa on the ground and walks away. Very lazy management. She is a wealthy drone hobbyist who decided that murder was more lucrative than real estate. An inspiring career pivot for women in STEM. And honestly, strutting around the map doing a runway walk with a diamond-encrusted claw weapon is a major power move. Bebot energy.
Bebo, bebo, be, bebo, bebo, be, bebo, bebo, be.
Ikaw ang aking
Bebo, bebo, be, bebo, bebo, be, bebo, bebo, be.
Number 18. The Executioner. He wears a metal triangle on his head and leaves a trail of spicy Dorito dust everywhere he walks. Fascinating geometry. He literally just sends you to the timeout cage. You get hit with the spicy dust and suddenly you're in a barbed wire playpen. But sending people to the cages and completely ignoring flashlight pellets and hook sabotage? God, it feels good when you're the one playing him. Number 17. The Demogorgon. He's basically just a big slimy dog jumping across the map. I kinda respect him. Plus, his perk surge literally kicks generators for you when you down someone. And I love automated passive income. Number 16. The Trickster. Neon K-pop idol throwing knives. The spamming is annoying, but the aesthetic? Undeniably expensive. He's got drip, and his giggling and looks remind me of 80s leader. We must thank him for his perk, Starstruck, which finally punishes people who try to aggressively body block you while you carry a body. A win for personal space. Number 15. The Artist. She vomits inkbirds across the map to locate you. It's very avant-garde.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Nothing feels worse than almost finishing a generator and getting sniped by an angry crow from across the zip code, but she brought us pain resonance. Without that scourge hook exploding generators from across the map, I wouldn't have been the same person. Number 14. The Plague. Please stop throwing up on me. Wash your hands. I'm begging you. The pandemic traumatized me. She makes everyone drink from communal fountains to cure a Babylonian stomach bug. It's a logistical nightmare for public health. But she gave us corrupt intervention. Blocking the first generators at the start of the match is literally the only thing keeping killer mates out of therapy. Lucky 13. The Doctor. Electroshock therapy, so 1950s. Making me scream and nothing while the skill checks jump around the screen is just petty. But if you are broke and need blood points, play Doctor. You just shock the air, people scream, and suddenly you're rich. Easiest paycheck in the fog. Number 12. The Spirit. She is blue, she is angry, and she has a terrible hair care routine. She had size.
She was there! That's how she became the nanny!
The fact that her entire mind game is literally just standing completely still and waiting for you to panic is incredibly toxic, and honestly, I respect the psychological warfare. Her Haunted Ground perk is also a brilliant social experiment. It teaches survivors the valuable lesson of not touching glowing things that don't belong to them. Number 11. The Krasul. Just a floating head and a glowing digestive tract? Honestly, I kinda like that. She travels light, no baggage, but you have to admit, the visual design is actually terrifying. It's visceral, gross, real horror. It genuinely brings the "oh god, run" factor back to the game. Breaking into the top 10, the animatronic. Historically, bears are made of fur, meat, and a desire for salmon. This one is made of rusty metal and childhood trauma. A beautiful evolution of the species. Look, I didn't want to work at a pizzeria, and I definitely don't want to be stuffed into a suit. The jump scares are mathematically designed to ruin my central nervous system, but bear with me here. We have to talk about the audio design. Hearing those heavy, clanking metal footsteps echoing through the map before you even see him, that is actual authentic horror. Plus, bringing the entire FNAF generation into Dead by Daylight just so I can hit them with a pallet is a public service. Number 9. The Cenobite.
The box. You opened it. We came.
Yeah, we know you and your little puzzle box. He is a leather enthusiast who travels through interdimensional portals just to shoot you with chains. It seems like a lot of effort just to interrupt someone repairing a generator, but honestly, he has the best slowdown perks in the game. Deadlock single-handedly saves my mental health when I play a killer, and Hex Plaything, taking my hearing away so I get jumpscared by a bald guy in leather, absolutely terrifying. Number 8. The Deathslinger. A surprise even for me, because I thought I don't like this guy. Anyways, getting reeled in like a fish is infuriating. You're just inches away from the pallet and then BAM! You're on a leash. But honestly, hitting that shot through a tiny crack in the shack wall takes actual raw talent. And I don't mean to brag, but I'm bronze in Valorant. He should feel flattered by my compliments. Tip of the hat to the cowboy. We must also thank him for his perk, Deadman Switch. He's an Irish-American engineer with a modified spear gun who invented the perk that punishes you for letting go of a generator to scratch your nose. Brilliant game design. Number 7. The Blight. A Scottish pinball machine addicted to glowing orange Gatorade. He just bounces off the walls, screaming, and suddenly he's directly behind you, like my little cousins. It's like trying to loop a caffeinated hornet. But the skill ceiling on this guy is insane. Watching a good Blight player moonrush and literally slide off a car to hit you at max speed is like watching violent ballet. He also brought us Hex Undying, which is the only reason Killer Hex builds even function. Number 6. How do you even pronounce this?
Lich.
The Lich. Not to be confused with a leech, but the Lich. A bony wizard with a floating eyeball. Very impractical, but highly magical. We went from regular serial killers to fighting a literal Dungeons and Dragons boss. He's throwing magical missiles at me. I just have a flashlight, it's not a fair fight. But making survivors roll a d20 to open a magical chest? Peak. The fact that you can roll a 1 and the chest bites your hands off? Absolute cinema. Number 5. The First. He's not the first, he's number 5. And also, he's kind of the second, because we also had Vecna, the Lich. Now we have Vecna, the first. The first is actually the second. Please roll with this. An ancient primordial entity. Look, if I'm getting chased by a teenager with a knife, I'm fighting back. But if I'm getting chased by something older than time itself, I just accept my fate. He earns the top 5 spot purely out of primal fear. The sheer scale of this guy is unbelievable. The map presence, the audio, the fact that the lore implies even the entity itself is slightly nervous around him. He didn't just break the meta, he broke the lore. Number 4. The Dredge. A locker full of bad thoughts and turkey meat. When he plunges the entire map into absolute darkness, it really forces you to reflect on your life choices. Let's be real. His Nightfall mechanic is the best environmental effect in the game. You can't see anything, they're screaming everywhere, and you never know which locker he's going to explode out of. It is pure, unfiltered panic. 10 out of 10 horror. Number 3. The Ghost Face. Does he teabag me after he stabs me? Yes. Do I deserve it? Probably. He's just fun. It's a classic cat and mouse game. You're constantly looking over your shoulder and taking a selfie with my corpse at the end of the match. That is just good content creation. He is also the only killer in the game who forces the survivors to aggressively stare at him to make him less powerful. A true narcissist. Number 2. The Huntress. A very tall Russian woman who hums a lullaby because she clearly forgot the words. She throws axes, which is a very inefficient way to chop wood, but apparently quite good for stopping people from doing gens. Getting hit by a cross-map hatchet is a cinematic masterpiece. You hear it flying through the air, and you just have to accept that she calculated the math perfectly. She is the standard. Her hitboxes might be the size of a minivan, but when she arcs a hatchet over a 2-story building to hit you on a generator, you just have to applaud. Number 1. The Shade. He wears a modified William Shatner mask and stares at you from a distance. He doesn't run, he doesn't speak, he just observes you aggressively until you die. The guy literally just stands there breathing heavily behind the bush, doing absolutely nothing, and we are terrified of him. Is the ultimate quiet quitting of murder. He puts in 0 effort, hits tier 3, and gets maximum results. And the mechanics? He is the only killer who can bring a tombstone add-on, grab you by the throat, and literally end your game at 5 generators. He doesn't care about hook states. He doesn't care about the entity's rules. He just cares about the vibe. We might as well name him the absolute goat of Dead by Daylight. So that's the list. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. I know you're going to anyway. Subscribe, or the entity is going to trap you in a 3-gen with a school merchant for eternity. See ya! And stay off the hook, or else I'm going to